Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com, and today we're looking at another awesome FPV race quad. This is the Walkera 210, and I want to say I hear people talk about reviews and how no one ever talks bad about something, and the thing that I always like to say is if you don't see something reviewed, that's a good indicator. And the flip side of that coin is I'm about to really brag on this quadcopter. I really like it. So a few things just to jump off and talk about are comes in around 400 grams. It's a 210, of course. The whole body is carbon fiber, as are the arms, and the arms are nice and thick. And I repeatedly put them in the ground. There's no weakness in the arms, and they look super strong. And then the other thing that's really cool is the aluminum piece that surrounds that LED light. And if you take a close look, it's kind of an integral part of the frame, and they call that their bow design. And this has a lot to do with why this frame is so tough and can really take a hit. The other thing that is interesting is it has equidistant axis design. That means that the battery and the CG, everything is right in the middle, so it handles better. And I believe it. It handled, I guess neutral might be the word, nice and even. The camera is 100-degree FPV 5.8. They say it's a good night cam, but it worked fine for me in the daytime. Very awesome. And the adjustable tilt on that, I started out on the stock setting, and then I popped it up to its next setting, which was good. I might even pop it up to another one after I get used to it. But that was super easy to do. One concern was the camera on the nose and how there's no carbon fiber around it, just this orange plastic piece. And that actually, once again, we'll talk about it. I'll show you how it took the crashes. Really amazing. Also, there are guards on the motors. If you look right here, you'll see these motors, and you'll see little black kind of bumpers almost on the outside to protect those during a crash. It has a Mushroom 5.8 FPV antenna. I have to say, not a gigantic fan of that antenna. You'll see, I'll let the audio play in the beginning before I turn it down so you can kind of hear how it's coming in and out. Also, it was a little staticky when I don't think it should have been staticky. And I've got money when I put my antenna on there and pull that antenna off. Things are going to change and be better. It's fully assembled. Literally, I mean, the box is awesome. You can look at my unboxing video. You can carry everything in it with the props on in the box that it comes with, including the transmitter. And I'm always a big fan of that. But literally, you take it out, you charge the battery, and bind it, and you're done. The radio was set up, and I didn't touch it. It has an F3 controller. And so what I like to do is fly it the way they send it to me. I don't like to go in and tweak things unless I have to. And this thing flew flawlessly. Now, I'm not Jason Cole, our RC Group's editor who flies competitively. I am just, I've flown airplanes, 3D. I'm just a standard RC pilot. This is one of the nicer racing quads I've had my hands on, and it transformed me. And by that I mean I was doing I was doing flips and rolls and shooting gates and really screaming. And so in the goggles, with the camera tilted up, I did not feel like I was going that fast. But a guy walked up behind me at the airfield, and he said, "Man, that thing is crazy fast," which is interesting because, like I say, it didn't feel fast to me in the goggles. The props are bullnose. I did manage to bend one, but you'll see I'm going to have a nice crash reel in this video. You'll get to see how many times this thing did tumbles across the airfield. On-screen display, we can talk about that when it comes up and you're looking at it. So those are kind of the highlights of this unit. Once again, Walkera 210. What we're going to do now is go out to our field. Usually I fly with Jason Cole, superior pilot, but he wasn't around today, and I thought, let's just fly it. What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst is I could crash it and make it so we can't get a video, but that did not happen. This thing is super tough, super killer. So we'll jump off the table here and get into the air and just talk about how it flew. So this is the audio that you get. That is not turned up or down. This is just kind of how it sounds. It's not crazy loud, but I was having audio static, and that's not cool. So I'm going to turn it down. So the audio static was kind of annoying, but this is my maiden flight with this bird. And right now we're in mode 1, the very tame mode. There's 3 modes, and I'm just getting a feel for the thing. So you can also see, this is really my only complaint, is the reception. And, whoa, yeah, man. I think it's got to do with that antenna. I plan on going back out Friday and flying this thing, so if I do put another antenna on it, which I will update you if there's a change in that. So let's talk about the on-screen display. So on-screen display built in is always cool. In the old days, I used to have to hunt down micro units, to get an OSD on there, but this is built in. And so on the left, you have your battery volume, is what they call it. And then you have roll, your pitch, your timer, upper right-hand corner. And also, I'm reading, so now I'm going to look back at the video. You'll see in the center, you can, I think these flashing circles correspond with the tail lights. This thing has tail lights, LED lights. And so I guess that's for talking to pilots that might be racing behind you. But it's showing your pitch and all that, but I also think it's showing you what those lights are doing back there. So all of that is a freebie. Once again, once I get flying, I almost never see the on-screen display. I will look at my battery voltage and see where I'm at. And by the way, this has been occurring while I've been talking, doing loops, or not loops, but rolls and flips. And this is kind of the first time I've really had a quad that I've been comfortable enough right off the bat just to jump out and do that with. And I was like, wow. It was kind of like the first time I ever hovered. It was pretty exciting. And it recovered well. It was very predictable, and there was zero fear factor, intimidation factor. It was very awesome. So this is my, once again, first flight, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Why don't I go to the truck and get out my flags and my gates and see what I can do? So the wind is 14 miles an hour and gusting. So who knows what it was gusting to? I could feel it in the air, actually. And that is our little gate. I'm not exactly sure how big it is, but it's not big at all. People always are like, how about you don't put out the little gate this time? So this was all I had in the truck, was one feather flag and the little one. So the goal is to take this brand new quad and shoot the gate. That's right. So mode 1, 2, and 3, I spent most of my time in mode 3, which is the aerobatic mode. And stabilized is up, intermediate is in the center, and advanced is all the way down. If you're looking at your PDF or your owner's manual on the Devo 7, this is switch number 11. So one interesting thing about shooting the gate, the wind would gust so hard that I would kind of have to shoot to the right and then allow for the wind to push me into the gate. That was pretty interesting. Mode 2, I did not fool around in, and I really regret that I didn't, because I think mode 2 is a nice combo of stabilized and advanced. So around the center of the sticks, it's nice and smooth, and the farther out you get, the more radical your throws become. So I think that's what I'm going to play around with next time. We're talking about going out in a few days when the wind isn't kicking and bringing this back out. The other thing I'm also going to do is pull that antenna off, that video transmitter antenna, and put one of my blue beams on there and see if that feels any different. You can see that flag sticking straight out. So once again, the volume is down on this because of the audio crackles. And I think that has something to do with that antenna as well. But you can see visually, it looks really good. I mean, I never felt like I might lose signal or anything. Oh, crash number 1. Pretty good tumble. So I went over and looked at it. Nothing, no arm issue, nothing like that. No prop issue. I'm running, it came with bullnose props, which are inherently harder to break. So that was cool. So I'm just out here having a good time. I'm doing my rolls and my flips and trying to shoot the gates. And it was a lot of fun. The only limitation I had on me was battery capacity and how many batteries I had on my person, which was 2. So this is all done with 2 batteries. In my review, I'll put a link to the quick start guide. It's the manual, although that comes in the kit. So everything you need to know that I have found online is printed in the box. I think the arms are nice and thick and protective. Oh, one thing that's cool is it has antenna tubes that retract. So at first I thought, oh, I need to screw these in and lock them down. That's not how they work. You pop them up, and then if you crash, whoa! If you crash, they will fold up on themselves, but they will not get in your prop. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you can tell that the designers for the F210 were really thinking and trying to do the best they could with this version. So I did just hit the gate, hit the fabric, and nothing happened. I made it straight through. I found that. I couldn't believe it. Awesome, awesome, awesome. To bind this, it's or it's set up to be not bind, but to arm it. It's the arm is to the left as opposed to, I always do it to the right. So that's something to be aware of. I also had it wanting to rebind on me occasionally, especially if I crashed. It would want me to unplug it, turn the transmitter on, plug it back in, and bind it. So just something to be aware of. I believe we're moving into the crash section of the video. I worked, it was really hard for me to crash this thing. I really had to force, that's not true. I crashed just about every time I went up trying to get it through that little gate. So we're going to look at some of these crashes just so you can see how robust this quadcopter is. So that's a hit and a roll and popping into the ground. And another. And like I said, I was hauling buttocks. I was going pretty fast. So these were fast hits that should have taken out a prop at least. And the only thing I did do was bend the prop at the very one of my last flights. And then as I was bringing it back into the house, I bent the prop back where it went, and I guarantee I could have flown it. That was it. It doesn't even visually look any different. I mean, maybe it's a little scratchier on the aluminum, but that's it. So that's my flight video, my crash video. My synopsis is a newbie on a really nice FPV race quad frame. I recommend it. I think it's awesome. It certainly takes a hit. Nice flight times, good looking, LEDs, great camera. Buy yourself a better cloverleaf antenna for the back. And then just go fly it, because that thing is awesome. I'm Jim T. Graham with rcgroups.com. I hope this has been helpful. And I'm going to say it one more time. It's awesome. I'm not kidding. I'm not blowing smoke. Hey, this is the flight portion of the review. A lot of people on YouTube will say this isn't a review. You're right. This is the flight video. Check out the description below. After the review goes live, I'll have a link, and that will include specs, links, cost, buy, where to go to buy it, all that good stuff. It's a full review with words, so be sure to check that out as well. All right, we're out of here till the next awesome quad pops up.